Good morning, guys. MWUSA Season 5, Episode 162. It is Tuesday morning, and we are just leaving home, heading to work. A nice, cool morning, finally. It is 70 degrees outside, and we're just leaving home. Cloudy day. Nice day. We need a little bit of cool weather here. So, looks like it's going to be a good day. Today's plan is go to work, lunch at the casino, then back to work, and then back to the casino one more time. Tomorrow, Wednesday, will be a big day. A lot of travel tomorrow, so that'll be fine. Today, I have 0 meetings. Tomorrow, I have 0 meetings. Thursday, I only have 1 meeting that I need to attend, and I can do that on mute, so I can be driving. And then Friday, I have just my team meeting. So we're in really good shape as far as meetings and amount of time I need to spend at the office. I have a couple new projects that I'm working on for myself personally. I'd like to get off the ground. One of them is just something for this week, and then another one is a long-term project that I'm working on. So, and I'll talk about that later on. Today, probably going to be in the low 80s, which is good. The last couple days, obviously Monday, yesterday, kind of a light day as far as making money, and even Sunday we made good money, but it was a heck of a long day. So hopefully tomorrow will be a big day. I'm considering also switching Wednesdays a little bit and maybe leaving home like at midnight or so instead of 6 a.m. and then being home by early afternoon, and that way I can be playing blackjack on a different shift. So that may be the only way to make that extra money on Monday. Maybe so if I get there at like 4 a.m., play till noon, get home by 3:30, 4 o'clock, play till 11 actually, I guess, and then get home about 3 o'clock or so. I think that would be good. And then maybe do an overnight Thursday. That's the problem. You can't do an overnight Thursday into Friday because you have to check into work Friday. We'll figure it out. I'm considering maybe leaving midnight Wednesday, so we'll see what happens there, which I guess would be tonight at midnight. Right now we are heading to work, and I'll come back and update you soon. Alright guys, about 10:30 right now. We are just leaving the office, and today is going to be a very easy day. So far today, I've gotten all the work done from yesterday that was left over, and everything I was going to do today, it's all caught up. I've done some personal stuff, done some research, all kinds of things, and I'm caught up and pretty much done for the day. So this afternoon is going to be spent doing more personal things for myself. So it should be a pretty easy day. Right now we are just leaving the office, heading to the casino, and we'll see what happens today. Hopefully better than yesterday. I have actually, what's going on here? Someone at home requested an Amazon food. Anyway, what I was going to say is, I've been doing a lot of stuff online lately, and I'm just going to take the day off of that today because it's just too much. So I think it'll be good to take a break from it. I find myself driving and at the same time watching numbers on the phone and making decisions and things like that. That can get to be a little bit too much. So today we're going to take a little break from it, take it easy and relax, have a good day, and get prepared for tomorrow. So anyway, that's what's going on right now, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, I am back, and yeah, it was okay. There really weren't that many people in there, which has been the trend lately, and all their new attempts to make things better have made things worse, because the real problem is their return to player is too low, and it's been getting worse and worse. People have noticed it. They put in worse and worse machines, less popular machines that people aren't really seeing online, They want to play the machines that they see on YouTube and things like that. And they've been pulling those out because some of those machines have a potential, of making real money, and they don't want that to happen. So what's been going on is less people are coming into this place, and they're going to other places. They're really suffering, and then I'm suffering because there's less people putting money in machines. So overall, I ended up playing probably 4 or 5 machines, all smaller plays. Had some okay stuff happen and some terrible stuff happen, but overall ended up on the positive side of things for the day, for the session anyway. Who knows by the end of the day, honestly. But I ended up leaving ahead $247, so plus $247, and then we'll be back later on this afternoon. Yeah, I mean, I got food while I was there as well. I got a triple cheese, no bun, fries on the side for the waitress, which she wasn't there today, so I gave it to the bartender. I just have them put it in a separate container for me. So did that. That was okay. The girl at the register was new, and then they didn't have any knives, so it took them forever to get me a knife because no bun. I'm using a knife and fork to eat it. And then they didn't give me a cup, which I didn't complain about because you can go out in the casino and get your own drinks if you want. But overall, it was okay. Ended up ahead, so that's what matters. Right now, we're heading back to the office, and we'll see how it goes. Should be a pretty basic day. I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. It is just after 3 p.m. and we are getting out of here. I haven't seen any of my teammates for about an hour and a half, except I saw my manager walk by looking for everybody a little bit ago. So they're doing what they're doing. Let them be happy. Let them do what they want. We're going to do what we want, and we're going to be happy now. We are heading back to the casino. Hopefully duplicate what we did earlier, make some money. I also did play online today at the office because what else am I going to do at the office? I'm all caught up and I'm way ahead actually. So I'm pretty much done for the rest of the week except for probably under 2 hours worth of meetings. Other than that, I just have to keep my computer active. Everything else is done. So that's good. I did solve some problems that I had with the 1776 things that I love about America. At first, the problem was going to be, how do you get 1776 items? And now the problem is, how do I reduce it? Because now I'm way over 1776, and I need to reduce it. So I'm going to combine some items that are multiple items into one. There were a few things that were on more than one list. I'll combine those. That'll reduce it a little bit. And then the other issue that I had was, how do you do that many episodes? Are you going to do, whatever years of episodes in order to get this done? And I decided that we're going to do all 1,776 items in 1 year. So I have a spreadsheet of all the items written down, and I have, I'll type in the date that I did each one. And then next to it, there's a countdown clock. It tells you how many days are left. And we'll have the last one end on July 4th of next year. So there you go. We're going to have all the items in 1 year. That solves a lot of problems. Right now, it's going to be a little bit slow as far as the number because they're going to be major items. Like so far, we've done Declaration of Independence and Constitution. You can't really do 5 things when they're big things like that. And today it is another big one. But then starting tomorrow, we're going to be getting more narrow. And in about 20 days or so, we're going to start doing multiples in one day, like 4 or 5 or more, depending on what the item is in one day. So I'm very excited about this. I'm more excited than ever about this, and more motivated than ever. I'm so happy to be doing this. I feel blessed to have the opportunity to do this and have you guys listen to this. So, all right. Right now, we're heading to the casino. 85 degrees outside. The sun is peeking out through the clouds. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and I'm ready to go. Let's go make some more money. I think I mentioned I made like $320 online. We made whatever, 247 this morning at the casino. Let's go make 200 more. What do you say? All right, I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back, and again, it was a little bit busier, but I knew I was kind of screwed when I first walked in, because this lady was leaving, and I know her from way long time ago at a different casino. She used to play blackjack, and I would play at the table with her sometimes, and she slowly learned what we do. I never told her anything. She learned it independently, and then one day I see her checking machines, and I'm like, wait a minute, she looks familiar, and it was her. So I knew I was kind of in trouble. Still, I spent about 45 minutes in there, couldn't really find very much, ended up leaving slightly ahead, plus $47. So not really much happening there. However, we can do some segments. Let's start with, what did you eat today, MW? And today I had that triple cheeseburger, no bun, no drink, because they forgot about it because she wasn't well trained, but that's okay. And I'm going to give it an 8 on a scale of 2 through 8. One thing they did do that was good is put it in a bigger plate so I could cut it up with a knife, but they didn't have any knives, so I had to ask for it. And I was able to eat it, and it wasn't as messy. But other than that, it really wasn't that great. So unfortunately, we're going to give it a lower score, and I'll be right back. So I finally have a name for this segment. It's going to be called the 1776 Countdown, and this is episode 3 of the 1776 Countdown. And this episode is going to be on only one item. Later on, we're going to be adding a bunch of items at one time, but this one's still on one major item, and that is the Bill of Rights. And the Bill of Rights is basically the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, and that was amended in 1791. So I knew a lot of this stuff, but I wanted to get the exact details about some things, so I did look up some dates and things. And the father of the Bill of Rights was James Madison, who we will talk about later on. And he actually proposed 12 amendments, not 10. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But only 10 of them were actually ratified. So originally it would have been the 12 First Amendments. Instead it was 10. Eventually one of them, one of the ones that wasn't ratified was ratified, but not for 201 years. In 1992, the 27th Amendment, which I believe was when Congress gives itself a raise, it doesn't take effect until the next election. So the amendments that people remember the most are, for example, the First Amendment, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, press, assembly, petition, all those things. Second Amendment, of course, right to bear arms, not to have a pair of arms from a bear, but to right to bear arms, to have weapons, and the reason for that we'll talk about later on. Third Amendment it prohibits quartering, which means being forced to let soldiers stay in your home in peacetime. Fourth Amendment is unreasonable search and seizure. Fifth Amendment, you don't have to self-incriminate, or here's one that people forget, against double jeopardy. You can't be tried for the same crime twice. The Sixth Amendment guarantees a speedy trial. Also guarantees your right to an attorney, which, you'll hear that when you're being arrested and all that. And then the Seventh Amendment is the right for a jury trial. The Eighth Amendment prohibits excessive bail and cruel and unusual punishment, which I believe later on a lot of states petitioned or said that, electric chair was cruel and unusual. Shooting someone for the death penalty was cruel and unusual, stuff like that, which we will talk about later, not now. Ninth Amendment, people have the rights beyond what's listed in the Constitution, so not every right that we have is in the Constitution. 10th Amendment reserves powers not delegated to the federal government to the states. So if the federal government isn't responsible for it, the states are responsible for it, and that's where most of our government should be local states, local governments, local towns, because those are the ones that can represent their people the best, because they know their people the best. And you remember yesterday we talked about the Constitution, that some states did not want to ratify the Constitution. They actually wanted to wait until the Bill of Rights. Some wanted to wait till the Bill of Rights before they ratified the Constitution. So Bill of Rights is only for federal government, although obviously everything goes down, right? So federal government is everything, and then you have the state governments under that. States cannot make laws that contradict the Constitution or any of the amendments. So that's really the most important part of it. There's so many details I would love to give you, but at this point, we can't be having gigantic 1 hour long sessions. What I was saying there is we can't have super long segments for this, because this is an Advantage Play podcast. I did want to split that off from this podcast eventually, but not at this point. So anyway, hopefully you learned something about the Bill of Rights. We're going to go into all the different amendments one at a time, and believe me, they are not boring. There's a lot of good stuff in those amendments. And then finally, what did you learn today, MW? Well, I actually figured out my camera system at home. You know, I had ordered that network cable, which I'm sure got delivered today, but I don't need it. The reason that the recording wasn't working, so yesterday I was saying some of the cameras were out of range. I tried to do some stuff, finally got that working, and then I had a problem with my video being recorded. I had to reboot the hub and then add it back in, and then I had a weak signal, so I ended up wiring it into my switch, which is connected to my router, and then all of a sudden the video wouldn't record to it because it was out of range. So I was actually going to wire it upstairs, and it turns out that was not necessary. I fixed it without doing that. Because I had removed it and added it again, it was trying to connect to something that didn't exist anymore, because it had a new name when it was reconnected. So what I had to do was go in, change it to SD card and save it, and then change it back to the hub, choose the hub. Even though it's the only one in the list, if you don't choose it, it doesn't take, and that's where I messed up. Choose the hub and save it, and now all the cameras, including the doorbell, are working. They're recording 24 hours a day. I've got a total of 6 cameras and a doorbell, and I'm adding one more camera in the next day or two. There'll be 7 cameras and a doorbell all around the house, recording 24 hours a day, and it should last for many months before I have to override the video. And I have it set that once the hard drive fills up, that it starts removing older data so that it never stops. I'm always going to have a certain amount of video. And now that it's doing all this, within a week or so, I'm going to have some kind of an estimate of how long the hard drive is going to last and if it works or not. And I will be adding another camera system at my mom's house. That way I can keep an eye on things over there as well. So anyway, that's what I learned today. So that's going to be it for today. Heading home, 90 degrees outside, and I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Big day tomorrow. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.